What's up, Blue Jay fans? Rob Scott of the Jay Talking Podcast back again with another game day recap. This time you're getting a 2-for-1, a game day recap, and a preview, all in this video. So stay tuned till the end. Watch both. The West Coast games are hard for me on the East Coast here. Last night I was up till about 1:30, 1:40, and then to record a podcast, upload it, all that's another hour plus. So I haven't figured out how I'm going to do these West Coast games. Looks like maybe I'll combine the game days and the previews all in one on some occasions. So stick with me. Let's go through it. Last night, good game. Blue Jays win 4-3. They now go to 5-3 on the season on the road. The Angels drop to 4-3. I was most worried about this matchup not because of Chris Bassitt, because of Patrick Sandoval. He's a good young left-hander. He's given the Jays trouble in the past. They have not hit him well in limited at-bats. And I thought of the three pitching matchups, this was going to be the one that was most difficult for them to get through. So now that we got through this one, I feel really good about the end of this series. Sandoval, though, was very good last night. It wasn't his fault they took the loss. He tossed 6 strong innings, gave up 6 hits, 1 walk, struck out 2, just the 1 run. In trouble a little bit here and there, but mostly in control of the game and the Blue Jays. Good young pitcher again. It was the bullpen that hit them hard. Matt Moore and Jimmy Herget in 1 inning gave up 3 runs, blew that loss, blew that win for Sandoval. Herget got the blown save and the loss. He went to 0-1 on the season. So that was the Angels' Achilles heel. Chris Bassitt was very good. Well, I'm going to say very good. He got crushed by a beautiful. My God, it was beautiful to hear and to watch. I love I'm very sensory like, so I love the sound too. Just to watch that home run and listen to it off the bat, it was like a king just playing with a child. He crushed it with such confidence, such a beautiful noise. And that did not look good because Bassitt gave up a hard hit ball just before that, and it was like, okay, here we go. But what's very good is that he straightened it out. And I'm big on WHIP. I think WHIP is a very important stat. It's how many runners you put on base in your outing. And Chris Bassitt only put on 7 base runners in 6 innings. That is very good. When you're in the 1.20 WHIP, you're above average, very good pitcher. Once you're in the 1.110, you're closer to an all-star, and you're 1.00, you're Cy Young talent. So to give up almost only 1 base runner per inning, that was excellent work by Bassitt, especially the way it started. He gave up only 2 earned runs in 6 innings, tossed 109 pitches. Good again on grinding it out. He didn't have his best stuff. It was interesting to watch him because I don't yet have a feel for him. I've never watched him before this season. I wouldn't have described any part of his day as dominant. His pitches don't appear to be extraordinary, but he's clearly a veteran who figures out how to do other things very well, keep hitters off balance. There's a lot of breaking pitches that I saw, but again, I don't recall him pounding the strike zone. So to come away with that win in the fashion he did to hold on, I think he deserved that W. Once he came out, he was actually down, but that big Bo Bichette, that 3-run home run, monster, him and Vladdy are on fire. Just the offense doing the right things at the right time. And I just really love where this team is going. I love the confidence they're giving me right now feels good. Like I just come away with a good feeling of like, we are a strong team. We are going to be in control of most of these games. So let's talk about the Jays bullpen also dealing very well. They have the 9th best ERA in the league at 3.04, the 12th best WHIP at 1.16, and the 12th best OBA, opponent's batting average at 224. Jordan Romano came in, closed for his major league leading 4 save. He's 4 for 4 in opportunities. He's been locked down perfect. You feel very good when he comes in. He hasn't showed any hiccups yet at all. The Jays offense overall had 9 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, so another low walk game this back-to-back. 7 Ks, 1 home run, They left 17 on base again. So again, it still doesn't feel like everyone's clicking. But, well, let's get to that, okay? Let's just go through the Angels offense. They had 3 runs, 3 hits on 5 walks. The Jays offense, still second overall in batting average at 287. 8th in OBP, 15th in slugging, 14th in OPS, 23rd in home runs, 14th in stolen bases. All of this leads them to being 10th overall in runs scored, which is okay. It's not where we want to be yet. But we want to be, as I've said this before, we want to be aware that we could actually be very weak 7 to 9. And we saw it last night. I think they went a combined 2 for 12. Kevin Kiermaier, a lot of people love what Kevin Kiermaier is doing too. I do as well right now. The addition of him I thought was always a great addition, even if he only plays 100 games, which is typically what he plays in a season. But his bat will disappear. So these that 390 average he had last night, that's going to go down to 230, 680. 230 with a 680 OPS area. That's what he is. So we can't overrate his bat. He's here for defense first. Base running second. But as he stops getting on bases often, that base running will become less evident because clearly he's not on base to run. The Jordan Luplow, Nathan Lucas spot in the order will have to be filled. I'm not in a rush, but it will have to be filled 30, 40, 50 games into the season by a legit player who's there to stay, not this up and down minor league over and over rotation that we'll likely have going on. Against left-handed hitters, we need that bat we can really believe in, trust, run out there all the time. Again, not recycling through AAA, hoping somebody sticks. We have the resources, the ability to do that. Let's do that and fill up that hole. Because, again, that 7 to 9 spot with Kiermaier, Espy, Biggio. You can even throw Merrifield in there. Danny Jansen at times when he's streaky. That can be a really weak spot, that lower part of the order. So to see that we're not way up in the offense doesn't really surprise me because we have holes. And again, I believe those holes will be filled, but time will tell. Let's finish up talking about last night's game with Bo's defense. Okay, so Bo with another wild throwing error. His errors appear to be mostly on the throwing side. And what do we do about that? My feeling is this: nothing for this season. You do nothing for this season. You don't rock a boat. You don't do anything. However, if the Jays want to hold on to Bo and be the best version of themselves, he's got to move off shortstop. He's got to go to second base or an outfield spot. His bat is magnificent. You don't want to lose it. But I look at the construction of a roster this way. When you have 9 players, 7 of them being very good bats, you can get away with 2 very weak bats. 220 hitters, 220 hitters, low OPS guys. You can get away with 2 of those guys if you're surrounded everywhere else by good bats and some by star bats. And I see those positions being in center field and short, so we can get a weak bat. Great, as long as that player who's a weak hitter is a great defender, that's fine with me. I would love to see somebody move in, even if they can't hit, to be just a great glove at shortstop. Really help those pitchers out, help the defense out, and Bo switches off to second, short, or God forbid we got to trade him. But if we got to trade him to make the team better, then we got to trade him to make the team better. I know a lot of Blue Jays fans won't agree with that, because they fall in love with Bo, and that's fine. But that's my feeling on it. We've really got to consider that. Not this year, but next year, Bo's got to find a new position if he doesn't iron this out quickly, because he is a bit of a problem for the infield. He's a weak spot. Don't want to abuse his hole. Don't want to call it names. All right, let's get into the Game 2 preview tonight. Toronto Blue Jays are now 5-3 against the Los Angeles Angels. I called them Anaheim yesterday. The name switches are like, give me a break. California, Anaheim, Los Angeles, pick a name. So the Angels have fallen to 4-3, and they're playing their second of a 3-game set. Starts tonight at 9:07 Eastern at Angels Stadium. Expected matchup is right-hander Jose Barrios, who's 0-1, was bad in his first start, versus left-handed pitcher Tyler Anderson. We're looking at a game-time temperature of around 13 degrees, I believe. Jose Barrios, 28-year-old, has remained a head-scratcher for the Blue Jays fans over the past year plus. He mixed a couple dominant innings with terrible innings in his first start. And I believe in this guy because that's a mental thing to me. He's not injured. His velocity is not a problem. Movement is beautiful. Everybody talks about his four-seamer. He's got to ditch it. I don't know well enough. I just know that he's become very inconsistent, and he's not dealing with the problem successfully yet. So I haven't given up on him. I still believe in him. The vast majority of his career has been positive. 1 year has been bad. So there's way more history on him ironing this out than there is on him completely becoming garbage at 28 years old in his prime. You don't expect that. Angels batters are hitting .323 off Barrios and 62 at-bats, connecting for 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Superstar Shohei Ohtani has been responsible for almost all of that damage. In 17 at-bats versus Barrios, Ohtani is batting .429 with 3 home runs and 6 ribbies. This is another tough pitch matchup to look out for. Tyler Anderson is a 33-year-old veteran of 8 major league seasons. He was a surprise all-star in 2022 with the Dodgers. The LA Stadium seems to have that opposite effect of the Rockies Stadium, where pitchers go there to thrive. He went 15-5 and 178 2/3 innings with a 2.57 ERA and a 1.00 WHIP, a Cy Young type WHIP. He's only posted an ERA though below 4 once in his career. So that surprise year in LA, I think, is completely just an anomaly, and I'm not that worried about him as a pitcher. The Blue Jays are hitting .250 off Anderson in 36 at-bats. Whit Merrifield leads the way with 1 home run and a .333 average in just 6 at-bats. Dalton Varsho is 3 for 4 with 2 ribbies. And I'm sure we'll see Dalton Varsho back in the game today. Enjoy the ball game. Let's go Blue Jays. I'll see you tomorrow with another game day recap and preview. Take care.